I'll call the meeting to order and ask for a roll call.
Blunier. Leach. Here. Lehman. Mennel.
Here.
Newman.
Here.
Parrott.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay, I ask you to join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
There are no public hearings tonight. Presentations and special reports. Something from the VFW? Yep, you come to Mark and state your name.
Mr. Mayor, trustees, I'm Jerry Davis from the Morton VFW, and I'm here to talk to you about this year's fireworks. There has been no price increase. Everything is the same as it was last year. I don't keep the books, but I believe it was
6,500.
65. And we would request the same for this year.
Okay. Yeah, the Park District and us both put in 6,500 a year, so we will take that up under the president then.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
And I think the police chief is up. We're going to move a couple things ahead since we have so many honored guests here.
Mayor, could I get you front with me, sir? Since about 2004, we've been honoring our auxiliary as part of the President's Volunteer Service Awards, and we honor those auxiliary members who have volunteered 100 hours or more during the course of the year, and this would have been for the 2018 year. We had 6 of our auxiliary that met that criteria this last year. As an overall group, they volunteered for 1,334 hours to the Village of Morton and its citizens. I'm first going to mention 3 of our individuals that were unable to make it tonight. They're out of town, 2 of them, and the other one's actually taken as part-time police tests. So those individuals are Todd Glasscock, who had 135 hours, Alex Pavluk had 116 and a quarter hours, and Bob Willis, who had 112 hours. I would ask the others to come forward and be presented with both a pin and a certificate. Dennis Batzik, who's the captain, he had 101 and 1/2 hours. Dennis? Squeaked in here.
Thank you, sir, for helping us out.
Nick Gilmore. Nick had 107 hours, and Nick only was with us part of the year. He left and got hired by Bradley University Campus Police. So, Nick, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
And Joe Stidman, who had 128 and a half hours, and Joe also, that was just a partial year's service because he up and retired on us. So, but we appreciate all that he's done for us for the 17 years, I believe, was that he was with us. So, thank you very much.
You're still doing every pumpkin festival. No. I tried to.
I don't have to go now.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thanks to all these gentlemen. The police chief always tells me every year we can't do it without you guys. So, thank you. Anyone else want to have anything to say? All right. The consent agenda tonight is approval of the minutes, the regular meetings, and 7 resolutions, which after we have a motion, I'm going to have Julia explain. Village Administrator.
So
I'd like
moved.
to have a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Julie, would you please explain?
Basically, we had the Illinois Department of Transportation came in and audited our motor fuel tax fund. And we each year had passed a normal resolution approving the dues or fees or whatever you want to call it that we pay into PUATs, the Peoria Beacon Urban something. Craig can explain that, what that is. And we had not done it on the IDOT form. So this is to get it on the official IDOT form so that they're happy with it,
So a little house cleaning.
basically, yes.
Any questions?
responsibility.
Oh, we were sending it your way. Any- Any questions? Call the roll.
Leach.
Yes.
Mennel.
Yes.
Newman.
Yes.
Parrot.
Yes.
Motion passes.
As you know, Leach's first day back, he gets to vote first. Village President, we just have the fireworks, $6,500. That's what we spent last year. We support the Park District. And between the two of us, we spent $13,000. And we have checked the bills, and that's what they spend. So if I could have a motion to do that again,
So moved.
Second.
call the roll.
Leach.
Yes.
Mennel.
Yes.
Newman.
Yes.
Parrot.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Village Clerk,
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Village Administrator.
I have a few items tonight, Your Honor. The first of which is, item A, is the changes to the Business District Building Improvement Grant. As you know, we have a grant program that will support any exterior and code improvement interior work for businesses within the business district. Maximum grant amount is $10,000. And the Business District Commission had discussed some changes they would like to see to that grant for this fiscal year. The first of which is to change, our current standard requires that your building be more than 51% commercial use. That came about when there were some issues with someone wanting a residential property to be included in the grant program. What has happened is we have one business owner whose business portion of her building is probably about 40%, but she employs 5 people. So the discussion was, you know, this is a commercial entity that she is operating out of this, what is her home, but it is it is commercially zoned, the building is, and, you know, like I said, she employs 5 people, so we were trying to come up with a way that she could be eligible, or anyone like that be eligible, but to not make locations that were, say, an Amway sales out of their home or that type of thing, to prevent a residence from qualifying. So this is what we came up with, that an exception to this commercially zoned properties, which include a residential component of more than 50%, would be eligible if the business employs 3 or more full-time equivalent employees. And the second one was, currently there are no cost with new construction projects that are allowed under the business district program. However, when in discussions, the main purpose of the business district is to eliminate blight within the business district. So one of the things that we would like to see covered is the cost of demolition if there is a permit drawn for a new construction. So if someone either owns or purchases a piece of ground that has a building that they're going to tear down and replace with a new commercial construction, up to $10,000 in cost of the demolition would be covered. And that's the 2 changes they would like to see made.
Just a quick question. On the first change, as far as the full-time equivalent employees, how would that be monitored, I guess? Is that just kind of on
Honor basis,
basis?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when they fill out the application, they would indicate how
Correct.
many employees they have.
Correct.
Okay.
How many hours would be considered full-time? Is it 40 or 32?
We discussed 30 hours is what is required basically for under the Affordable Care Act. That makes you eligible for insurance. So we're going to go with 30 hours a week.
Could we have a motion?
So moved.
Ken,
Second.
Any other questions? Call the roll.
Mennel,
Yes.
Newman,
Yes.
Parrot,
Yes.
Leach.
Yes.
Motion passes.
The second item tonight is a recommendation from the business district for a grant for airland transport at 1020 West Birchwood. They're going to replace the exterior entranceway into their building. The brick is falling off. It needs some, I guess, some serious repairs, so they're going to redo the entire thing. So the total project cost is going to be $56,620, and like I said, they would get the $10,000 grant if they spent that much.
Could we have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Any comments? Call the roll.
Mennel,
Yes.
Newman,
Yes.
Parrot,
Yes.
Leach.
Yes.
Motion passes.
And last thing on my agenda for this evening is the Spring Tourism Grant round recommendations from the Tourism Grant Committee. They scored the grants in the last couple of weeks. Basically, we have two types of grants. One is a community grant, which is a smaller event that doesn't see a lot of overnight traffic, but does have increased restaurant traffic, and it provides quality of life and educational opportunities for the citizens in neighboring towns and in Morton. And then the overnight grant is a maximum of $10,000. This grant requires at least 50 overnight hotel stays, and these are normally larger events with a greater economic impact to the community. As you can see, there are several grants listed here. They scored them, and the recommended amount is shown in the column there, to the second to the right, from the right. So I don't know if you want me to go through each one of them, or
I don't think so. I think we can read them. Can we have a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
Any questions or concerns? Call the roll.
Newman,
Yes.
Parrot,
Yes.
Leach.
Yes.
Mennel.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Chief of Police, anything else?
Yes, Your Honor. Just a little update on our consolidation. Dispatchers began moving today from East Peoria Police Station into our facility. That process has started. It's not been glitch-free, but we do have dispatchers within our building at this point. At 8:30 this morning, 911 lines for Morton were all transferred to ring into this facility. Our non-emergency number lines as well are working through here. So,
Thank you. Corporation Counsel couldn't make it tonight. Director of Fire Emergency Services
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
and Director of Public Works.
nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Planning and Zoning Officer.
Just a couple items from Tazewell County that you have in your packet. And if you don't mind, Your Honor, I might just run down and
Yep.
kind of give you
Fine.
kind of a quick look at what it is that they're doing. The first case is 19-24-V Jeffrey Roth, and it's a rear setback requirement that he's looking for a variance of. If it were in Morton, it would meet the rear setback. It doesn't meet Tazewell County's rear setback.
Okay.
That next case, 19-25-S Sun Ag. They're out on Allentown Blacktop, and I'm sure most of you are familiar with them. They currently have a special use to do what they're asking on this special use, but it's for an additional piece of property that they're going to be purchasing. So they need to expand their existing special use, in short, what it amounts to. And then the next one, the 19-26V, is the same property, Their tanks that they're putting up are 6 foot taller than what the county allows. They're not really that tall. I think they're like 40 feet. I was surprised that was the limit, but they want to replace some equipment there. And the following case 19-27V, Sun Ag, this is on the property that they're going to purchase. They're going to do the same thing, but since it's owned by someone different, they need a variance on that property for the same tank type situation, so. The next one, I think we've had cases on this one before, case 1928S, and it's where that chapel is in Groveland. They're gonna use an existing building for like a banquet center or wedding type venue. So it's a special use through Tazewell County. And then the last one, case 1929S, is out by the lake out north of town. Kennel Lake, thank you. Chickens, and it's in a residential area, and they do have, according to the map that they sent, there are neighbors adjoining on each side and behind them. So it's in that residential area, like our R1 area is where they want to put the chickens, so. I don't know if you have specific questions on each one or comments for each one. I'm going to be writing a letter to the Tazewell County people and giving them our 2 cents worth.
And the last 3 is nothing.
That's all of them.
Okay. All right. So you don't have any concerns of negative on any of them?
The first one, like I said, it would meet our setbacks if they were in Morton. The chicken thing, like, I don't know what everybody's opinion of that is. I had some high school student was working on a project, and their project was to find out why we don't have chickens, I guess, in Morton. I mean, I gave them some, I gave them some ideas that I have personally, but that wasn't you gentlemen. And because some of it is, if you don't clean up, I'm sure in a hot day, there's probably an aroma that may not be pleasant. And I told her, I said, we can't even get people to mow their yard sometime, much less clean up the chicken coop. So I don't know how soon we're going to be having chickens, but anyway.
Is there a limit to the amount of chickens, or is it just chickens?
I don't honestly know how many you can have. There is in the county. I don't know what that is, though.
Okay. Could we have a motion, or you want to discuss the chickens a little bit first?
I don't think we need a motion.
I don't,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, what I'd like to do is have Roger send a letter, because I think that the county needs to have a record of our opinion on matters,
Right.
so we don't miss on anything. So I would just soon have us allow Roger to write something, so if you have a concern about any one of these, I think we need to mention that now.
I thought, I guess in the past, we pretty much just said we don't have any objection. Roger so indicates, isn't that what we've done on similar
We
county?
haven't done resolutions in the past on this.
Yeah.
No,
No,
but
but it'd be nice to be able to give them a comment other than we don't have any comment. Because sometime there might be something that we're gonna wanna make, and we want them to listen to us, and it'd be nice to be able to say, like, for example, the chicken thing, that would be a no here. I mean, you can't do that. But, we don't allow them to start with, so,
this is an RS area.
yeah.
But that would be allowed in the county, right?
In some circumstances, it must have to do with proximity to neighbors. I don't know if it's a zoning, like if your property is zoned, maybe ag or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
It's a fairly large lot, but I would be curious as the restriction on how many you could have.
Well, I think I'd be concerned neighbor-wise, are they gonna have the rooster there and, at 5:30 in the morning, rooster's going to town. And it's probably not really our place
Oh.
in this instance, but is there,
They're stating here, would like
Stated.
special use to have chickens on property, planning to have 4 chickens, no roosters.
oh, okay.
chicken coop to house chickens already in place.
Oh, sure.
They say they're gonna clean it.
I mean, typically, these things that come from the county, I guess, they're coming to us, I think more, or at least the way I see it is, it's more, what would the impact be long-term if, because it's within, what, the mile and a half, I
Right,
guess, of
yeah.
our corporate limit. And to me, it's more of, well, if that use is approved, what would be the impact if the village eventually got to that point of incorporating that area, and is it something we could live with or not? And I don't see this as being an earth-shaking
No.
matter. I mean, as far as the interests of the neighbors, that should be accounted for by the county when they consider this matter. I think that's beyond us. So I'd say, I mean, I have no objection to what's being proposed in any of these cases, and leave it to the county to make the determination.
Well, if we're all agreeable, let's let Roger write that letter and answer each one of them, so we have a record. Is that agreeable?
Yes.
Okay.
Will do.
Anything else? That's all you had, Raj?
That's all. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, any trustees have anything tonight?
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
All right, if I could have a motion, we have no closed session, so if we can have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.